Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Seager. Welcome to another MLB The Show 20 video. In this one, I'm going to be going over 86 overall face of the franchise, Brian Anderson from the Miami, Florida Marlins. You can obtain this card by getting 50 points in the Marlins Team Affinity. If you want to know the best way to complete Team Affinities and get these face of the franchise cards, tons of content on my channel about it. Links are in the description below. But let's talk about Brian Anderson. If I could have titled this video "How fucking god awful is Brian Anderson," I probably would have. This has to be one of the worst cards that I've used out of anything so far this year. Keep in mind, these are my opinions. If you rake with this card, obviously you're having a different experience, but in my personal experience, not a fan at all. This guy kind of fits a niche that isn't really needed, and that's a defensive third baseman. As far as the meta has been the last 2 years, third base is kind of a position where you can get away with poor fielding in the game. That's kind of just how it's been the last 2 years. And so having a high statted defensive third baseman with low hitting stats just doesn't really work for the meta. Additionally, I used his finest card at the end of last year and I hated it. His swing was awful. And I was hoping it'd be a little different with this guy, but it's just not. He just has a really bad swing, no exit velocity whatsoever. Just seems like he's up there swinging a noodle bat, regardless of what I was doing with the PCI. He did hit some homers. You'll see him in the clips, but those are the highlights. I took a lot of ABs with this card and not a lot of highlights. I'll show you the stats here. A lot of ABs is 40 for me, I guess, but 37 at-bats, only 6 extra base hits, only 11 hits. Didn't have an OPS of 1,000, which sounds kind of conceited, but for me, not having an OPS of 1,000 is actually really bad. Like, most of the cards I use sit around 1,200 OPS, so this card just can't hit, man. That's just the bottom line. He couldn't hit last year, he can't hit this year. Again, these are my opinions. But just a card that no one really needs. You'd almost rather prefer a good hitter and a poor fielder at third base rather than the other way around. The positional versatility is nice, but he can't play shortstop, which is probably a spot where a card like this would be most useful. And so, yeah, overall, I just don't think he's a good card. I was obviously making a joke about fucking terrible earlier, but yeah, he's still pretty bad. One of the worst face of the franchise cards I've used so far. So as always, we'll rate the card how he rates in the meta, and we'll rate him compared to how much he costs. How he rates in the meta, I'll give him a C. Did not like him at all. And third base, second base, first base, left field, right field, all pretty deep positions right now, so not even real spot to put him anywhere. And for the price, I'll give him a C-, I guess. I don't know why you'd ever do exchanges for this card or get this card at all, I suppose, unless you're me. But we could have some juice coming out of the Marlins Team Affinity later in the year if we get some new legends or something. Like, imagine we get a Sig Series Josh Beckett or something. I don't know. All speculation. But yeah, this card in particular, not worth it at all. So hope you guys enjoyed this card review. Let me know down in the comments who you want me to review in the next video. I do read all those comments. Enjoy the clips after this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It's incredibly hard.
Yikes, Sean. That's tough. Get out, Brian Anderson. That's gotta be gone, dude. Let's go. Hold yourself.
You don't know how to play first base.
Get down the line. Let's go. Band. The King, thanks for the follow. It's fun to think about.
3-2 pitch. Fly ball out toward right field.
Get over his head, dude. This is our fucking inning. Let's go.
Count 3-2.
Yeah, I knew he was going off speed. Brian Anderson, let's go. Feels bad, dude. Sorry to hear that, dude. Brian Anderson, the pop-off. He's not just a defender, chat. Anderson, his third extra base hit of the game. I scored 20 runs. What the fuck?